the one and the only Tom. And I know this wasn't part of my my channel, but last night I said I was making some stew, or at least some kind of like hearty soup kind of thing. I think I said it was stew, which technically it is. It is a sailor stew, so it's supposed to be hearty, keep you warm kind of ordeal. From Sweden, it is. I cannot pronounce it, but it's like some or soyon biff boy. I can't pronounce it, but so onions, potatoes, added carrots if you want, celery if you want, and then beef. Well, I added celery, carrots. I got the onions, the potatoes, like it calls for. And then I mixed a beef and a pork roast with some summer sausage, or some sausage itself, like Polish or whatever you feel is necessary. And this kind of vibes of it, or looks of it, I guess. Like it is decently fantastic. I just had my first bowl, and this is kind of what has taken me away from it, or away from my life, and so has. Well, I will switch cameras, and Mr. Askles is chilling, and then that's his bummed up foot, missing a toe now due to cancerous bullshit. I gave him a piece of pizza yesterday, and that's as far as I went. So I got clean stuff, you know. But he's a good boy. He likes his nose scratched. He's a good boy. And yes, noise in the background. Background is from me being me, and I am a firefighter slash first responder in the town that I am in. And yeah, I have to do a frick ton of work to make my house as livable as possible. But yes, what is the dog's name? Rascal. Rascals, Mr. Rascals, Mr. fucking Rascals. It's literally Rascals, but he goes by anything that's close by. And I making food with him, and this is the reason why I have not been on live lately doing video games, because, well, hey, sometimes life takes over. And I mean, if you're one with Wisconsin, you understand that the weather is quite lovely, you know? Like, it is -13, at least in the area that I am right now, and nobody wants to be outside. And yeah, so I decided to make some. I don't even. I wish I could pronounce it. So my great grandma had it wrote down in her cooking book, her cookbook or whatever, and it's like a Swedish name, but in like a Nordic pronunciation, like in half-ass get it. It's like it's like salmon biff or salmon biff or something like that. is what I'm getting. It's in American, or at least in English, it is Sailor's beef. Is the soup or the stew that I'm making. There is two ways to make it. You can either brown all your materials in a cast iron and cook it in the cast iron, like layer it and put it in the oven. Or you can leave it the way that it is. Slice your beef, slice your pork, or whatever you're planning on using, and put it in a roaster and do the same thing. I have added a mixture of Kinder's The Blend, Kinder's Buttery Garlic, and caramelized onions. This is just stuff that I've used. It is not part of the, recipe. So the recipe was, to be exact, is beef, celery, onions, and carrots, and potatoes. And if you go back farther than that, it was beef, onions, and potatoes. Like, I dug through everything that my great grandma had to make it, because my great grandma was a mixture of, I guess, Swedish, because, well, the recipe was written in Swedish. And with me going through it the way that I am, I finally got it broke down into what it was with the old Pixel Pixel Play blocks. I'm making food, chilling with my dog, drinking some shitty ass beer, I guess. So Blatz is a good beer. I say it's shitty because it is good for things that you need it to be, but it's not a good beer. Like, it warms you, it makes you happy, but I have this lovely concoctions that I have been making. So I got apple pie, I got regular honey mead, I have white grape mixed with red grape, and then I've got a year-old pie. So this is a year, and this has been made since 2025. That was made in 2024, or early startings. Like that, I make apple pie every October, so it's ready for November. And so that's from last October/November. I have grape, which not that big of a fan of. And I got honey, which, well, as long as you have honey and yeast and some type of happiness, you can make your own kind of thing. And then apple pie, this year's, it's darker colored. I use different apples and different cider and stuff. I put like 4 sticks of cinnamon in it as well. You are a priest, aren't you? Pray for me, dear priest. I am not a priest. QQ Zim 249. I am just a regular guy. The only instructions that I will ever give you is to live and enjoy your life and be true to yourself. There's nothing beyond that. or before that. And if you feel that, then sure, I am nothing beyond that. I am myself. To be honest, I grew up in a Catholic family. My parents grew up as a mix between that and Lutheran. So I grew up mostly as a Lutheran because my parents were like, hey, we're just going to do this kind of thing. And I was like, whatever. And over the years, I've lost multiple family members, and up to recent, I've kind of lost my faith in and so on, whatever. I don't know how to put it. But as far as I know, or what I remember from growing up, is that God is good. God is life, so on and so forth. And my grandmother's brother introduced us all into the Nordic religion prior to, and I'm not getting into religions or anything. Like, that's not my type of shit because, everybody is, in my opinion, created equal no matter what you believe in. But in my opinion, I grew up in a family that was messed up, and my religion technically never changed, but at the same point, it changed multiple times to transverse from being Catholic to whatever it was prior to Lutheran, which, equally all the same, just different teachers or preachers or whatever. And then my great grandma passed, or not great grandma. Well, my great grandma passed away prior. Well, my grandma passed away a couple of years ago, and me and her brother have kept in contact. We've talked here and there and so on and so forth. And yeah. And I've kind of been tampering around with different religions to find something that I've actually liked. And I went from, I guess, Lutheran / Catholic to a Lutheran Celtic vibe to a Nordic / Celtic vibe. So I honestly, I still believe in the one and only God, but at the same point, I do believe in others as well. And I know this is something that I normally don't do. I'm currently on my phone, and I'm just chilling and drinking some beers, having fun, and yeah. And I don't normally talk about random stuff or talk about religions and stuff. And I just didn't know that I could do this on my phone, honestly. I am slightly old school. I am from the 90s still. And, don't have much hair on my head. But today's vibe has been making stew. Or a soup, depending on where you're at. I will leave the name of the stew in messages because I don't know how to pronounce it unless I speak Norwegian. And in Swedish, it is slightly different, but it is, I can't think of it. Soy. Whatever I said earlier is what it is. And like when I get drunker, I can speak Spanish better than any other language. And I have no reason to. I just worked with my culture more than my actual culture and stuffs. So yeah. But if anybody wants to know my family beginnings, or at least as far as I know what I became, I came from a family that migrated during World War II. My great-grandfather fought in World War II on our side, on the U.S. side, even though he migrated from Normandy. And he knew how to speak German and French, I guess to say. So he came, or I guess it wasn't just him. My great grandma, mother. Okay, hold on, time out. So I am a mix of a fricked up shenanigans. So the dish that I'm making is a Nordic dish. It is either salmon biff or Solomon or Sojum biff. Well, I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. So technically it's a Swedish dish. It is or technically considered, a sailor's beef, which is it is a steak plus onions plus potatoes into a stew. So it's a regular stew kind of ordeal. And I added more proteins to it. So it's a pork roast, chuck steak, and then I added not summer sausage, but I added steak or smoked sausage. God damn. Added that. Then there's onions, carrots, celery, depending on what you want to add. If not, and then since I am using a roaster of the Walmart brand, I used that amount of beer because it, for one serving or whatever, it considers one beer. Well, one beer didn't cover anything, so I added that. And it requires either a lager or a darkish beer or a dark beer itself. Well, here in the lovely US, we don't have much dark beer. So I use Blatz, considering that I'm in the old lovely state of Wisconsin, wherever the heck it went. Wisconsin. And it's like it's like a mix. Like it's a light but dark kind of beer flavor. But I use some Liney's, which is also from Wisconsin. And this is Honey Weizen, which is a German beer, but made in Wisconsin. Because, well, most Wisconsinites are German or Scandinavian, either way. So I used that as slightly a base. I used beef stock, beef bouillon, whatever. Use like 3 of those tablespoons. Well, I guess two teaspoons, and then I was like, fuck it. It's not really getting where I need to be, so I threw a tablespoon in, and I sent it. And it's good. I've already tasted it, already ate it, kind of ordeal. But yeah. And from prior recipes, I will. So the recipe is, to be exact, from what my great grandma said, was at least a pound of chuck steak or cube steak or top steak. Any of them. Which, I mean, in most places it will either be chuck steak or at least a chuck or whatever you need. And it has to be cut at least half inch or less in thickness, each piece. And after that, it says at least one bottle of beer, 300 milliliters, or 330, whatever. It says 300 on mine, so, or one bottle, which I don't know if they were 12 ounces or 11 and a half at the time, but that's what it says. And then it says at least 2 potatoes, depending on size, and carrots if you want, and onions. So it's supposed to be potatoes and carrots and beef. I myself decided to add pork and then pork sausage, or at least a smoked sausage with it. And I added 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 beers plus the beef bouillon and stuff like that. So it is up to everybody, to whomever and or whatever wants to make it, to decide. And I will leave the steps and stuff in my upcoming post, kind of thing. If you are somebody that wants to know, and I will try to go live again after that, and we'll cover some beer and stuff, I guess. But yeah, thank you for everything. I greatly appreciate all my followers and subscribers and everybody else. Always remember to live and enjoy your life, and I'll see you in the next one. So deuces.